So today, joining me, I've got Sean Ryder and Bez from the iconic Manchester band, the Happy
We're very iconic, aren't we, Pete?
Yeah.
Do you feel iconic?
Does that mean old when you say iconic?
Yeah.
It sounds like it does, you know what I mean? But if it does, we are actually quite old, but we're still in the game.
Yeah.
But
Old
I
in
think
the
you've got to be
game.
old to become iconic.
And
I don't
he's
think
iconic, like,
you've
similar
been
to
around
ridiculous.
forever, it means. It's a nice way of saying you've been about a lot.
Yes. 135 years since we first did Pills and Frills, and we've been married, our sexless marriage, for about 43 years.
And how does that feel?
Great.
What, in a sexless marriage?
Yeah, that's why we're still
That's
together.
why we're still together, you see.
So what stage is this marriage at now then?
Menopause.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's definitely no sex then.
Pause. It is.
Menopause.
Man,
Talking about that, I can't tell you who me and Bez are going to be the face of.
it's not anchor butter.
Tanner Man.
I don't know.
We leak.
Oh, goodness. But you're here and you're raring to go for your tour. How do you feel about that?
It's absolutely great. I mean, look, you know, we as long as we're not out touring for 3 years at a time, it's good to. We like being on tour, you know, just scaling it down a bit.
We love the camaraderie of being on the road, you know what I mean? It's great. And, it's like being kids again, you all get together, you have a wee soiree, you go out and you're having fun.
Although we do travel separately nowadays, you know.
Do you? What, so you've got separate tour buses?
Well, we don't do tour buses really anymore.
No, I got on a tour bus for the first time for the European tour because I got sick of the tour bus. I used to always leave without me because I used to be like partying everywhere. And so I decided I was never going to get on it again. And now I'm a lot older, a bit more sensible. And I actually got on a tour bus for the first time in like 30 odd years. I actually really enjoyed it on there. Yeah.
I didn't get on the tour bus.
I heard that at Glastonbury one year that you ended up in the luggage compartment.
Yeah, I mean, of course I did. Well, that was when I was addicted to heroin. Yeah. And, I went, because people don't like seeing heroin being done, so all the cokeheads and whatever, and the weed smokers and everything, I had disappeared to the luggage. Under the coat.
Sense of the boot he was. To have a boot.
I think that was when Glastonbury was still like old school 1970s Glastonbury. I think, was it about 89 or something like that? 90?
1990. So that was when Pills, Thrills and Bellyaches came out and you were headlining, right?
Yeah.
All right. So who found you in the luggage compartment? Did anyone find you there? Or did Bez come looking for you?
You could smell it.
And plus we had like 100,000 Manx with access all areas passes with us as well, which caused a bit of a kerfuffle, as you... Yeah. No,
Michael Edis is still not forgiving us for print. It was when them machines first come out, laminate machines, so we made a load of laminates for access all areas for,
Yeah, no.
Some of our pals.
It was good fun, though.
So have you calmed down since?
Oh, come on, we're in our 60s. I mean, you can't be, even when you get in your 40s, you can't be running around like you did at 18 and 20, even 30.
If you badly behave, you can claim you don't remember it anymore.
Well,
what do you're joking? That Alzheimer's is playing havoc with me.
But Bez, have you calmed down?
He's still 21. He's not been back home since 1985.
Yeah, I'm still out.
Still out.
Still out. No, you know what? Can I say I live with my foot in both camps?
Yeah, do you?
Yeah. I feel like the complete debauched side. Yeah. And then I got me well-being, like healthy side to me as well.
Okay. So what will it be like when you go out on tour? Will you be going to bed?
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to get out there on the road because that's our natural habitat on stage. You know what I mean? That's where we belong. It's where we're at our best.
Yeah, are you? Yeah. Shaking those maracas.
Yeah.
I'll be in bed for 11 o'clock watching the news.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're a bit of a TV junkie, aren't you?
Well, I just got to see the news, you know. I mean, I like I say, I get off pretty much straight as soon as we come off stage. I've done for a long time.
Yeah. What is that, since getting clean, or?
Well, I've been clean 20 years, over 20 years. So, but especially, at least since 2012, I just do what I've got to do and then go back to the hotel or whatever.
And you know what, Truth, I do as well, because I've got my wife on tour with me now and she makes me go home early.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You should see the look on the face if I look like I'm going to go out, like, ooh, like, start chewing my nails and all that, and ooh, I better go home then.
But you're still very much in the honeymoon period because you haven't been married, quite 3 years yet, have you?
Yeah, but we've been together for over like 14 years or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I met her when she was like a young thing.
So she knows you well then?
She's old now, you know what I mean? She's catching me up. That's what I said to her when she reached 4. That's it, now you're catching me
You're
up.
catching me up, yeah. But Joanne's been a constant source of support for you, hasn't she, your wife?
Yeah, I mean, we've been together for 23 years, something like that.
Wow. Okay. What's the secret? What's the secret then to
Just do as I'm told.
and be out of the house?
Yeah, she likes to keep me out of the house. She likes to keep me working and busy, so that I'm not at home.
Yeah. Do you think it's hard for your other halves to have, yourselves be in a pop rock band, being out on the road?
Absolutely not. No, not at our age. I mean, look, I first met Joanne, when the band was just about to kick off, and she was 17, something like that, and her best mate went out with my best mate, and then she married my best mate, but Joanne blew me out after about a week because she basically knew what I was gonna be like, especially with the band kicking off and everything else and all that lot. So, but she stayed in the same company so she was always around. And when she thought I got to the age of maturity
Men never grow up, do they?
well, I started to grow up when I hit 40. So as soon as I hit 40 and started to grow up, she wheeled me in. And so that's 40, 50, 23 years ago. So.
Wow, that's incredible. So do you credit her for sort of saving you in many ways?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Well, it certainly helped with that. I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, I knocked it all on the head when I was 40 because that was just the right time.
Yeah. And what prompted you to do that?
Because I was 40 and was bored. I've been doing it since I was like 15 or whatever.
But you wanted to do it for you rather than being told.
That's the only reason you can do it, really, for you, if you want to succeed. If you do it for other reasons, like business or somebody else, then you're going to be in and out of rehab or whatever for almost every fortnight, if you're doing it for other people. When you do it because you've decided that you're sacking it because, but you're bored with it.
Yeah. Are you proud of him, Beds, for being...
It's done really well, honestly. I can't believe the change.
It's 20 odd years, 20. Yeah. It's like my youngest kids, my youngest are, 18 and 17, and they've never even met that person.
So tell me about when you first got together. Obviously, you met, in the mid-80s?
Bez went to school, same school as all the other band members, apart from our Paul. Me and I, we was left foot, and these lot was over the road. Right. So they all went to one school, so they all knew Bez. I had heard of Bez, and basically when he came back into Salford from living in his cave in Morocco sometime...
Is that true?
I just spent a bit of time in one, yeah. I didn't live in it, though. I was hiding out there.
So when he did come back, and a pal of mine rings me up and says, I'm coming round to yours and I've got Bez with me. I said, don't bring that fucker here, mate.
Yeah.
Don't bring it
here. I don't want him here.
Well, my flat was really on top, and also... with lots of strange characters, and also I had the head of the drug squad in Salford living behind my flat.
Oh, did you?
And my flat was already on top, so this was about 1983, 4, something like that. Yeah, 84. And he turned up, when I told this sort of lad not to bring him, he came, and he never left the flat.
Yeah. I arrived with a big bag of goodies. We drank a bottle of whiskey and that was it.
And we've been together like 40 odd years.
Ever since. And is it true that you used to shave each other's heads with big
Shave each other's heads with big razors, and wash up in the bath when we have the
Time's
flat.
that hard then at that point?
Well, you can't shave the back of your head with a big razor. I don't know if you ever tried it, but you end up full of cuts.
Yeah, that's all we had, big razors.
And did you used to share gyros? I'd heard.
I shared everything.
Shoes.
First up, best dressed.
Clothes,
Everything,
trainers, everything.
I knew in the days when we didn't wear socks with our trainers, so you can imagine what our feet smelled like as well. It wasn't a
Sean's smelly feet.
I did,
we both had smelly feet, no, we did we?
Smelly
we
everything.
had it was that funny when my missus at the time, she wouldn't let me in the house unless I soaked my feet in a bowl of hot water and Dettol. No, to kill all the germs off my feet.
But we couldn't bath because it was full of pots.
Oh my god! Yeah, like Bezin with the old saucepan.
Well,
yeah,
we
not
like
the
I said,
maracas.
Full of
washed
pots and pans and dirty plates.
That's what we washed up
We
in.
ran out of places to put over, so they ended up in the bath.
No windows. Where the windows was, we had like album covers or pieces of wood for the windows.
Bez, you were saying that the band, it took a while to kind of get noticed, didn't it, to achieve some kind of recognition? Would you say like 4 or 5 years?
I started it in 1980. I was 18, so it's got to be in 81 or something like that. How old was it? I'm 20 in 82.
Yeah, it's in the 80s, early 80s.
1980 or 81 something. I was 18 anyway when I started it. And we got signed. Well, we didn't sign because you didn't sign to Thatcher Records. You was just making records with them, And we wasn't even really ready to be making records. It was that one. It's not what it's not what you know. It's who you know. And we met a dude who used to sell us jeans on the market stall, who happened to be pals with Tony Wilson and Rob Gretton and Mike Pickering, who was A&R man, who then later went on to DJ and be M People, and Phil knew all these characters. And before we knew it, Bez came along in the band about 85, I think. Maybe even 84, because we did the Teddy Hall thing in 85.
I can't remember. It's around that area.
So around that time, but we'd never had... we didn't even get our first front cover or proper publicity till he joined, and we got our first front cover.
Is that when you supported New Order?
New Order, yeah.
Yeah, at the Hacienda.
Yeah, it was a great gig, that. Life-changing moment.
Was it?
Well, I think
for me it was.
Yeah. With that as well. Teddy Hall spotted us playing at the Hacienda, and he took us, because we'd done shows with New Order, but it was Teddy who took us on our first proper tour. That was about 85.
That was about 85. But it was, why did you say to Bez, come on, you've got to come up on stage with me?
Well, we was tripping. We was on acid.
Yeah.
Well, we was tripping.
Black and white microdots it was. A bit of yin and yang.
Purple and black.
Yeah, purple.
Oh, so Bez, you got up there and you grabbed some maracas on the way up?
Well, I was just seen a pair of maracas on the way up. I thought, I'll have them. Grabbed them. And I shook them that. Honestly, you wouldn't believe how hard I shook them things. And I had a blister in the size of a 50p piece. But me and the maracas have been like partners
ever since. Yeah. Don't you hold the world record for maraca?
I do. I'm a record breaker.
Go on, tell me about that quickly, to diverse.
I got filled in the town hall in Manchester, that square there. We had the maraca, so I got on stage and about 2,000 people turned up to shake the maracas.
So you were in the Guinness Book of Records?
Yeah, for having the most maraca shakers in one spot.
So you played a blinder then, really, back in the day at the Hacienda by taking the maracas?
Dedication. Yeah, it's what you need if you want to be the best.
But yeah, so obviously, the Happy Mondays formed. But would you say it was really 1990 when Pills, Thrills, and Bellyaches came out? That
the first album was 86 with John Cale. So that's Squirrel and G-Man. It's great, having a number one in the indie charts, right? So, but that means you sold 15 copies. And Bummed, that did the same again. I think Bummed in 88, that entered at something on the main charts at like 50 something. So, but being number one in Indies, it's like, you're selling no copies. And if you want to carry on making music and you don't want to get dropped off your record label, you've got to turn in a popular album. And at that time, in sort of 87, 88, music production was changing. It was let's get some beats and then stick a bass line to it, which is normal now, but then it wasn't, you know what I mean? And then, so hooking up with Oakenfold, who I'd bumped into in the Beaver and listened to him like mixing, dance tunes with bands like the Wooden Tops, listening to him do that. It was like, because like I say, John Cale produced the first album, Martin Hannett produced the second, but it was timed where we needed a pop album, but still being happy with it, popular. And it was obvious, like, we'd gone through a couple of little run-throughs with Oakenfold and Osborne. They did Hallelujah.
Step On.
And, Step On, again, shouldn't have even been on that album. We recorded Step On for Elektra Records. That was our label in the States. And it was 25-year anniversary. And what they did was get all the new signings on Elektra to cover previous, bands back from the 60s, do a cover version of their back catalogue. So all the new bands had to do stuff. So, we didn't want to do that because we didn't do cover versions, but we had to do it. And then how that turned out when we sent that off to Oakenfold and we got that back, it was like, well, look, we've got something there, we'll keep that for ourselves. So we're recording another John Congus one, give that to Elektra. We kept that. So that really was the first track that we had there held for Pills and Frills. Then went off to LA, to Capitol Records, and, and made that album. And again, it was a really quick process. I wrote as quickly as Okie was coming up with the beats. I was just writing the lyrics. So, he'd come up with a beat a day, I'd write a song a day, and...
Was that quite a drug-infused kind of environment at that time?
Well, here as what Bummed was. Bum was, everyone was mad on pills in 87, 88, on the E. So that was, but by the time it was 1990, so it wasn't...
was it 1990, that album?
Yeah, it
Pills
was.
and Frills, yeah.
November 1990. Yeah, it went platinum, didn't it?
Yeah.
So did you ever get any royalties from Step On? Because it was John's song.
You don't get obviously PPL but you don't get any publishing. Even though Alan McGee went and had meetings with Congus's publishing, give something for, Twisting My Melon and sort of the bits that was... but anyway, they wouldn't...
They
budge.
wouldn't?
No.
Oh. So, yeah, that would have been a boon, wouldn't it?
It would have been. But it isn't, though.
Well, the whole thing about what happened with... Tony Wilson, he was a dude that... Tony made us, Tony gave us our break, and he was a brilliant guy, and I also think he was a brilliant businessman. And you get a lot of them going, well, Tony was more an artist than an artist, what I mean? Yeah. But, if he'd have been listened to more, he'd have, there'd have been a lot more going on. But Tony also gave me the worst piece of advice that I got. And when we was first got with Factory Records, Tony said, look, don't make the mistake of what these other Manchester bands did, like the Smiths or whatever, where, the writing song royalties, you write a song, basically went to Ma and Morrissey, right? And even though the bass players putting bass parts to it and this and that, but it went Morrissey and Ma. So and some other Manchester bands had done the same thing. So Tony says to me, split the writing royalties equal, and it'll stop all the falling out. Because,
but it didn't.
No, it made it worse, if anything.
Did it?
Yeah, because everyone's arguing about money then all the time.
Yeah.
Who's got what and that. And,
oh, God.
Yeah, so it's...
And positions of power.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was the worst piece of advice.
Basically, because, we all get the same split. I wrote the songs, everybody on that. And also, the rest of them wouldn't even give him a cut.
No, why?
That's a fucking kick off. Hey! Yeah, no. Come on.
Did all of your arguments used to end in a bit of a fight or not?
Me and Bez?
No, not you and Bez, but just the band in general.
Because, brothers, like brother love and all that. So, the brothers had this, relationship, you know what I mean? And what I learned is never get involved with them.
Never get involved with the brothers.
Honestly, I dived in once to split them both up. I nearly lost my fun for my effort for it. I thought, never again, you know what I mean? Leave him to it, you know what I mean? I like me thumb.
Yeah, even though I give me brother, you know, I did give me brother a big,
bit off,
equal royalties to songs that I wrote. So, and that was still never good enough for him, was it?
Yeah. But you made up with him eventually, though.
Did I?
Did you? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought you had. But
Well, because you come back in the band in 2012.
yeah. But so
Made up for my mum.
he made up for you.
As far as my mum was concerned.
And Tony, do you think he would have been proud of you? You know, he passed away in 2007. He was very young to lose him, really, wasn't
57.
Yeah, well, you know
Well,
what?
it's that dangerous age for men, innit? The 50s. You know, we've lost so many pals in you know, people you know when you get to that age. The 50s is the most dangerous age for men. If you get through that,
You
be
pay
all right
the
for a
price
few
for
years.
excess. Yeah. Well, we've got through it only just though, you know what I mean? Yeah. With scrapes in there.
But I know, Bez, I was reading about your near-death experiences, whether it was obviously ingesting too much bicarbonate of soda.
Well, that's the worst rock and roll death ever, that one.
Come on, tell us about that.
Some fresh sardines. And what I didn't know about sardines, if it goes past a certain temperature, that's it. It plays havoc on your digestion system. So I've ate these sardines, what I love. And next thing I get in a bit of a stomach ache because the fish was a bit off. So I went and got a bit of bicarb because it's supposed to sort it out because I'm like into all the natural ways and all that. So I've done a teaspoon of this bicarbonate soda, and what I didn't know, I've already taken this overdose of the stuff. So I've next it in the water and straight away, both ends, flushed it out, and I had a little bit of a stomach ache still. I thought, there's a bit left, I'll take some more. But it was the beginning of my bicarbonate soda overdose, what I could feel. And I'd done 3 more teaspoons of the thing. And next thing, it was like one of them volcanoes, you know what you see in the kids, like you put all your bicarbonate, it just froths. Yeah, it was just like froth.
So this is it. Did you think you were a goner?
And my wife was like reading all the things about bicarbonate soda overdoses whilst I'm overdosing on it. Yeah. So I just drank water for 24 hours until I stopped frothing. And I survived it. But another friend of mine done the same, and he had an heart attack.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! So you were actually all right. You sort of lived to see the tale. And what about?
I think Bicar was one of his most dangerous near-death experiences.
I think the
it's
motorbike.
Well, not motorbike or the 15,000 cars or whatever.
Oh, go on, enlighten us further.
Well, I've had a lot of near deaths, but I don't like to talk about. But you know what I'll do? I learn from every one of them. Yeah, I'll never do that again.
You know you're going to survive some mad sort of James Bond style car crash when everything goes into slow motion, or some mad battle goes off and it goes into slow motion, because that's what happens.
But you were saved by you believe that you were saved by crystals, weren't you? When you had your most...
this because I was on my way out and I've been given the last rites and all that.
Had you really?
Yeah.
Oh, no more. We couldn't have known.
I had to come back from Los Angeles.
And guess what? No, with all the nurses dead excited because Sean's coming visiting.
I bet they loved you coming
over.
over.
No, he turned up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like I was just seeing a pair of ears like that.
Once you got back
like
in the
a bat
country,
raising up in the night. It's like, who visits anyone at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Because he's on LA time.
well, I got off a plane at Heathrow. I had to jump on a rattler to go to Scotland.
Oh my goodness!
So that's what time you get there.
But he brought the best films ever. Honestly, I watched some fucking great films that night. You know what I mean? And forgot about me pain for a bit.
Oh,
but anyway,
but you were right. But they put the crystals on you or something.
No, I was giving all that.
I love a crystal.
Up and down and this. It's like,
and you were in a coma, basically.
I said, this woman's mad. What she's doing? We've done this and we've done that. You know what I mean? And next minute it was bolt up right out of a coma. You know what I mean?
What? Because she put the healing crystals on you.
Well, I didn't know there was on there, but yeah, but she gave all that up and down me and all that shit, and everyone thought she was nuts. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But she saved you. She saved you with the. Do you take your crystals with you on tour now?
Only meth. No, that's just a joke. That.
Do you not have any healing crystals in your dressing room?
No,
healing hangover.
I've got them all over the house.
Smoking them in his pipe.
So the crystals remain firmly, and the thing. And Sean, you've recovered from pneumonia recently.
We started a Black Great tour, and after about the third show, I just thought I just got something, didn't I? The whole band ended up with all sorts. Kermit ended up with pneumonia as well. But it felt like a COVID
don't
again.
Get rid of.
It was just, but you just got to get on with it, haven't you? You know what I mean? We're old school. You just don't.
So you were in bed for the whole of Christmas.
Well, I think we finished the last show on the day before Christmas Eve, so that was in Manchester. And I got home, collapsed in bed, and then I was out pretty much. So I got some antibiotics.
Did you? And that kicked it into touch. Definitely. And you missed Manny's funeral then?
I couldn't. Well, yeah, I got home to come after the Manchester show, so we'd come back, and then I was there to go to the funeral, but I just couldn't. I couldn't
get out of bed.
I wasn't even breathing, according to the missus.
Really? Wow. Yeah. So that must have been a real shame because you were very close to Manny, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you go, Bez?
I did, and
the Mondays, most of them went. All the band went.
Yeah,
it didn't hit home really.
Well, the ones that are alive.
So you see the coffin, you know what I mean. Then then you know it's real. Then you know what I mean. Then it really sunk in.
Did it? Yeah. Because he was in his 60s, wasn't he?
Yeah, he just 63. Celebrated his 63rd birthday.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did that make you feel? Because you're talking as well about.
Well, it was. To be honest, it wasn't a surprise. Manny's not been well for a long time, you know. And then, you know, as well. I mean, I really thought Manny might have gone before his missus.
Yeah, because he died a few years ago. Yeah. And so does it make you realise that nobody is kind of invincible? I suppose back in the day, at the height of the fame of, you know, the Mondays, you would just
still being 53, I thought I still was invincible.
Yeah. Oh, that's when you had your panic attack, right?
First panic attack, yeah. When I found out what fucking taking me testosterone did to me, off me did.
Oh, is that what triggered it?
Yeah, because I've been on testosterone for about 15 years, and they had to stop me testosterone because my blood had started thickening. And I had no idea, you know, what had happened. And when it eventually my testosterone had gone, it really is, you know, it's like, it's bad. Didn't know what was going on, and I had a panic attack. You know, I mean, you are your testosterone, and when that's, you know, if I'd have had a panic attack at 21, I'd have lived under a bed. Yeah. I wouldn't have come out of an house.
So you would never have even been in the Mondays.
I wouldn't have done anything, you know. And so when that was, you know, when I was in Hong Kong, I was in China, one of them, and the rest of the testosterone that I had in my body had gone. And then straight away I couldn't breathe and panic attack. I never had a panic attack, you know.
Have you, Bez?
No, but I know people who have, it's like you think you're having an heart attack or something. Yeah.
So what happened after that then, Sean? What happened?
I ended up with full body alopecia. Oh my goodness. So, you know, alopecia totalis.
So you've got no hair on any part of your body?
No eyebrows, no eyelashes. That's a tattoo, or whatever they call it, skin pigmentation. They call it.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel?
The mad thing about me is, like, because of my ADHD, I don't process things like other people do. It's like my dad's been dead for 7 years, 6 or 7 years, and I only felt that like last 2025, you know.
So you just don't process stuff, do you? No.
Years to that. And the same with our kid as well, you know. Nothing. And then a couple of years later that one goes. So I don't process things. So when all that went, and all this, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, you didn't.
And then after about, I don't know, 6 months, a year or whatever, it hit me, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, especially in this game, you know, your fucking hair and your eyebrows and your eyelashes, and when you look like Uncle Fester's fucking distant, well, not even distant, twin brother.
My favourite description when he says, I look like a big toe. That made me laugh.
So that took a while to kick in. And then I ended up getting that done because before that kicked in, I really didn't think about it. But when it did, it's like, woo.
Whoa. So what did you have done there in your hair? Do you just
Skin pigmentation, they call it.
So what they just do, the micro, is it like a needle? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tattoo, isn't it, really?
It's basically like a tattoo, but there's no blue in it or black. Whatever.
You know, you haven't wanted to hide away.
Testosterone thing would have stopped me. Not my hair falling out and all that. I wouldn't stop that. You know, but the testosterone stops you because it's like it is, as you know, the menopause for women. It totally changes you. You view on life, everything. You're not the same person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people start drinking on the menopause. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's exactly the same thing. He fucking carries me.
Yeah. And your hip hasn't stopped you? No. You still did the Bill Bailey walk, didn't you, and Sunset? And
I did the jungle again, didn't I?
Yeah, you did the jungle.
It came out in the first time I did it. Obviously, I had my hip, but 82 years ago when I did it last time in South Africa, I'd had the, you know, it was a hip replacement, and I went down too low, and that Phil Tufnell's lay next to me, and all you hear is a big bang. Phil jumped out of the bed. He woke the whole camp up. My fucking hip would come out. You know.
Oh, I love toughness.
So it was either sticking it back in or getting lifted in an helicopter out of there.
Yeah. So that's what you did. Yeah. And didn't you have a problem with your teeth as well? Didn't your teeth come out?
Well, I've had these gnashes. I haven't had any teeth
problems as well.
Well, I didn't have any teeth. My teeth went 25, 26, 30 years ago, you know, these.
Why was that then?
Oh, you mean in the jungle? One of me, right, what had happened is.
Yeah, in the jungle. I think
one of me implants, right, had chipped. And it had, you know, it was pointed and sharp, and it was sticking into my cheek, in there, you know. So that was painful. More painful than.
Why did you lose your teeth originally? What happened there?
You know, crack. Not you know, crystal meth. Whatever.
All those sort of things too. Play havoc with your teeth.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it at home.
Yeah. Otherwise, you've got to learn the hard way.
The heroin left me teeth alone, but the other shit got rid of them.
Got rid of them. And Bez, what about you? I read that you lost a tooth on Duncan.
Oh, he lost his teeth years ago when he was a kid. He had a top full set of gnashes back in the 80s.
Start from one. I used to have one. But once you lose one, you start, it weakens the rest around them. But I've lost mine through motorbike crashes, fights, you name it. And obviously taking Persians for years didn't help.
What about, there wasn't something at Glastonbury where you had a donut?
I lost me dentures and I found them on someone's necklace. Because I recognised the smell, I thought, I know that smell.
He had a mouthful of implants, really good ones in the 80s, and they got knocked out in a car crash years later, so that's when he ended up with the dentures.
Yeah, it's like wearing a big bad fitting pair of shoes, you know what I mean? You're always taking them in and out because they're not quite comfortable, you know what I mean?
So boys, now, do you feel like you're in the best shape you've been in, would you say? Maybe mentally? Or
Oh, absolutely mentally, yeah. I mean, none of the problems of youth and all that, like in mental, no arguments over fuck all or madness.
I'm mentally and physically fitter than I was because I look after myself a bit now. I didn't then, you know what I mean? So I actually feel like I might be even a bit fitter than I was.
Really? Is it being out on the land in Wales?
Well, I don't know. It's because when I was a kid, I had nightmare kid, you know, one of them ones what you didn't want to be around. Like, so I think it's paid me dividends in my old age, you know what I mean, being a slight.
Is it the honey from the bees as well?
That keeps
Do you
me
think
going.
that's a good...
Yeah, I'm always buzzing, honestly.
Does it make you more virile, do you think, having all that honey?
And you know what, and talking about testosterone before as well, proper honey is good for your testosterone as well.
Is it? Sean, have you tried that?
Yeah. Loads of Manuka honey and everything. Been on honey for years.
Yeah. What don't you put your honey on an orange or something?
Yeah, no, God's sweets I call them. Because I've given up sugar in cake because honestly it's been such an addiction. It's my last addiction what I had. Yeah. So now I do like only what God provides, and if Haribo could make sweets like God does, Yeah, but anyway, try it. Get your orange. You can't have any of that white stuff on it, though. You know, you got to get your knife and cut it off the peel. Pour loads of fresh honey on it. And honest God, it's like taking acid. You just start tripping, like, no,
really?
with delight, like, honestly, I can't tell you how good it is.
So it's like the best natural high.
Yeah. I mean, it works on any fruit as well. If you stick a load of honey on it, it sends it into the next dimension.
Oh my God. Is that going to be on your rider for the tour?
Honey's already on the rider.
So what would you say is the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome, you know, in the last sort of maybe 10, 15 years? I know there was the financial issues that you kind of both had, you know, Sean, didn't you spend 14 years in receivership?
I did. I spent from 1998 to just after I came out of the first jungle. When I went in 2010, I was still under the receivership, which meant from 1998 to 2010, I could earn money, but I couldn't keep any of it. None of it. And so that was 14 years of not being able to keep any dough. You know, I mean, them receivers are the biggest fucking bunch of gangsters you'll ever come across in your life. And it's hard to get out of a receivership. You know, and you can't go bankrupt in my game. You know, you go bankrupt, you've lost your publishing, you've lost your royalties, you've lost everything. You lost, you know, fucking, if you've done any film music or anything, your fucking lot's gone. And it's a business for them fuckers. Yeah. You know, they want to take it off you and they're getting paid for the rest of your life. You don't get it back when it comes out of receivership. So you can't, well, you don't find out that when you come out of receivership after 14 years and 100% of your income's been took off you, off everything for 14 years, then you find out that them fuckers don't pay the tax on it. You're liable for the tax. How can you pay the tax on it when 100% of your dough's getting took off you? Wow. By these cunts, all because a fucking judge did not like a working class kid in London.
That's just madness, isn't it? So how have you recovered from that? Is that why you're continuing to kind of tour and obviously...
Well, you tour and you still make music because that's what I fucking do. You know, that's me. I make music.
But was there times you thought, oh my God, I've got to
stop doing that? You know what I mean? I went on world tours, come back and got paid because the rest of your fucking pals and your musicians, they've got to get paid. Yeah. You know, so you still carried on doing fucking world tours, getting everything took off you. So why did that happen? And your kids had to come out of fucking schools.
Why did that happen
people? Why did it happen?
Yeah.
It happened because in 1997, I got rid of two managers, right? That was put onto me by my American management, Gary Curfews. Gary Curfews had the record label. Gary Curfews was a big dude in America, music, right? You know, his bands, and he had, you know, everything from the fucking Doors to Talking Heads, Jane's Addiction, the Ramones, Blondie, you name it. That's why I went with Gary when the Monday split up. You know, flew me all over America and signed with Black Grape with him, me and Kermit. But he basically had me on his record label and then licensed through MCA. So I was signed to his label. He also had me publishing. He also had the management, but he couldn't be seen because it's conflict of interest. So he put these two fucking jokers, who was tour managers, in charge of me. And I didn't get on with him. I didn't fucking like him. And after about... And they also stopped listening to Gary once he'd been put in charge, you know. And I fucked him off. And went to court and I was ordered to pay a poxy 120k to him, right? And where my head was at the time is, you can fuck off, you cheeky cunt, you're getting nothing, right? And I could have even said, look, you know, I'll pay it off at 10 pence a fucking fortnight. But I didn't. I wouldn't give him anything. Yeah. And it ended up in the hands of the receiver. Yeah. And once them bastards get you, you're not getting out of it because it's a business. Yeah. And he's not, you know, you can't even borrow money. Okay. So it took me fucking, like I say, 14 years to get out of that. You got to go fucking underground. You can't even say that because you then have the tax on you.
Yeah. And Bez, just finally, what would you say is kind of like your life lesson, listening to Sean about his experience with the financial side of thing? What's your kind of, you know, life lesson? What would you say?
Well, you know what? I do this thing called dancing on the edge. Yeah. Yeah, and I try
dancing on the edge.
Yeah. So I try not to look at the future I just like create it as it out of me. So it's called.
Oh, we've always gone day by day anyway.
Day by day,
Day by day.
I call it dancing on the edge.
Dancing on the edge. Listen, it's so nice for you to have joined me today from Rewind back to the 90s. Thank you. I've really enjoyed our chat.
I mean, we're actually an 80s band. We're not 90s,
Well,
really.
90s, 80s,
You know,
90s.
I mean, we'd fucking blown up by the time Britpop blow up.
You straddle the two. You straddle the two
Finished
decades.
by the time
We are
Britpop
actually
covered.
an 80s band, though, too.
Yeah.
But the money's out. Black Grape was in 90s.
90s, well, 80s, 90s. It's 90s for the purpose of this.
There you go, man.
Anyway, good luck with the
Well,
tour.
Bills and Phils was 90s.
1990.
Yeah.
You didn't split up till 92, 93, so yeah, I think you're more than credible to come on here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
We
Well,
are slightly
we're on,
90s.
you know, you can listen to a tune or two on fucking absolute 90s.
Oh my God, I could sit and chat to you all day.
All right. Well, thank you for chatting.
Thank you
Thanks for having
so
us.
much.
Not
Thank
avoiding
you.
us.
It's been, I've loved it. Really have. Thank you.